Good morning, dear diary. Today, Sunday, August 25th. I don't know honestly what happened, but it's like, where did the rest of the year go? Like, we're almost done summer, and I'm going to tell you, in my country, it's starting to get cold, which not liking whatsoever. But, I haven't really made a lot of YouTube videos, and this is kind of interesting because I think when I started creating the YouTube videos, and this is interesting because like I keep telling people, whatever. If I'm crazy, I'm crazy. Like there's no way of getting around it. I'm crazy. I believe that my path has been set out. I believe that a psychic, a medium, and my spiritual friends have all confirmed the same thing. Okay? But then it's like I started making these videos, and the reason I did that was because I had just finished a whole year worth of studying for the CFA exam. After I took the exam, I knew I failed. I knew I could not. Like it's not that I failed the exam, but I failed on the bell curve. I knew that. I knew I was going to. Well, I didn't know I was going to pass the exam. I did like 40 mock exams and failed every one of them, and then to like take the actual test. So I passed the test, but they had a bell curve, and I failed. And I knew that there was like another part, like in the life, the journey of life. Like you can go, hey, I was going for a finance degree. I failed, but I put in so much time. I'm going to retry it again. Or you go, I did a lot of effort, a lot of work, but this path is not for me. And when you get to that point in life, you go, all right, doors closed. So I remember coming back and I was thinking, like, what am I going to do with my life? What am I going to do with my life? And I remember the psychic goes, "Oh, you're going to work in Australia in opals." So I was thinking, well, if that's the ending, like, let's figure this out. Like, let's get this going. So I found a course and took like the training on opals. So it teaches you like the different colors, the different prices, where you'll find them, stuff like that. And so I took the course and I was like, okay, cool. Like, like that's one step closer to being in Australia. Then I can also remember like talking to a lot of my friends at that time, and I was like, what should I do with my life? And then I remember going through a thing and reading an article. I think it was about like Rolex actually, and they have like a training center where you can either go to, I think it's somewhere in Pennsylvania or there's somewhere in Switzerland. I'm not too sure where the places. I think it's those two, but they would actually take you in as an application, and then you would learn how to build Rolex watches, rigorous training, stuff like that. Try to keep you professional, show you how to maintain a certain look for the customers and the clients, right? So I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll do it that way. I'll learn how to build build Rolex watches, and then when I get my way down to Africa, sorry, when I get my way down to Australia, I would build my own Rolexes with opals. Like that was a pretty good, interesting idea. But then I also remember like talking to my other friends, and he was talking about creating a liquor brand, and I was thinking, weird that you're talking to me about this liquor brand because I actually had like a full on business proposal done with the financials and everything of my own liquor brand that I was going to create, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And I showed him everything. He goes, "Well, let's do this." And I go, "Okay, but I don't have 150K right up front to start. So unless we can somehow figure a way to get 150K, I don't know how we're going to do this." So, anyways, long story short, that whole year just kind of ended. And then I don't know when I started making these videos, probably in maybe October. I don't I don't know how many months I've been on here. So, like, sorry about the dates and whatnot. Like, I'm not going to be correct on anything on my timeline right here. But the interesting part about this is that I started creating these videos, and I was at the lowest point of my entire life. Like, I had just pretty much gone through a twin flame, and and here's the thing: is like this whole twin flame thing. It's a bunch of fucking bullshit. Because here's the deal: Mercury retrograde ends on August 28th. But from what I've heard is there's about a week worth of leftover hangover energy. So everything that had happened to me 3 years ago, okay, 3 years ago, was around September 5th or 6th, okay? And it's funny because I was even talking to one of my friends yesterday, and it, he met me just a little bit before then. But he goes, that was when the day he goes, I'm pretty sure that's when you met your twin flame. And I think he's very close because I he was supposed to follow me without me knowing. He was supposed to follow me and keep me find out who the twin flame was and keep me away from her. And the funniest part is because it took him 4 months to figure it out. Smart guy, but he had to follow me everywhere. Didn't matter who I was talking to. I pretty much made it so that nobody knew who I was interested in. I don't need people talking. I don't. Once people start talking in a relationship, good luck. If you don't have a strong enough power and willpower and boundaries and put up walls with people saying, "Hey, this is my relationship. Take yourself and bounce. Go figure out yourself. Don't interfere in my life." Good luck. Relationships will always end that way. And I can even see it now with my soulmate. So everyone's going to go, "Okay, you got a twin flame and a soulmate." Mm-hmm. I do. I absolutely do. And now that I'm going to show you guys how the law of timelines and actual universal spiritual law almost works. So if our life is already planned out, okay, go through this. You have good paths and bad paths. And in those bad paths, I'm going to tell you, I've been in it for about 3.5 years now. It's rough. Probably one of the worst 3.5 years of my entire life. And I'm going to tell you, and I don't want anyone to get worried. It's not like anyone watches these videos except for my one buddy. Hi, friend. I miss you. Dear diary. I miss my buddy in Calgary. He's a good guy. We call him the doctor. He knows who he is. Anyways, the whole thing is that in every path you'll have some major arcanas. So as soon as, and it's funny because in this Mercury retrograde, I lost 6 friendships, which I would have made in the last 3.5 to 4 years. Okay, which makes sense. But then as all that old energy left, people from the past started coming back. And I'm just going, huh, is that very interesting timing? So the one girl that I know, you know, messages me to play Monopoly Go. Doesn't work on my phone, so I guess, not up to date with the new technology in this world. It is what it is. So anyways, I was telling her and I go, like, and she met me as like a party boy, slept around, drinking, smoking lots of pot. I always had a job, which that's the messed up part. Now that I only smoke pot and really try to build my own business and everything else, can't get a job. And there's a few tangents here, and I'm sorry about this. So we'll go with the first one. My grandma asked me yesterday, she goes, "How are you feeling?" Like, seriously, in the last, like, I don't even know, 2 months, I've pretty much told her, I'm like, "Grandma, I'm going to be so honest with you. I'm like, if I didn't know the ending of my life, I'm pretty sure I would have either gone back to drinking or I would have pretty much probably killed myself." And she goes, "That's sad." And I go, and she goes, "Well, why don't you go to like AA counseling, or why don't you go to or AA, or why don't you go to counseling, or well, why don't you do this, why don't you do that?" And I'm thinking, okay, well, let's go with let's break it down. How come I don't go to AA? I don't drink. I don't need to drink. I don't have any cravings to drink. I've learned that if I'm going to have a hard day, beat myself down at the gym. At least you know what's going to happen at the end of it. You're going to work out your thoughts, and you're going to look better. So I don't have to deal with the hangover. I don't have to drown my sorrows. I don't have to go back to alcohol. So that's the reason I don't go back. That's why I'm not going to go to AA. Nothing against AA. Good on them. Like, if that's what works for you, that's what works for you. But I also gotta believe that people probably in AA, the reason that they probably started drinking was probably due to like social situations. And I was thinking about this last night because I was like, I've become very spiritual, and I believe that like you gotta believe in a God, spirits, guardian angels, ancestors. Like everything is energy. And when you think of what alcohol is, they call it spirits, right? Put this together. So if they call that spirits, you're drinking spirits, dark spirits, and whatnot. How many people can honestly say that they're like, "Oh, I'm a good person when I drink," or everyone says that, but does everyone actually see themselves through like non colored glassed eyes? Like, not likely. So, anyways, I was thinking, like once you dabble down that path, you're hanging with the devil, whether you believe it or not, because I can tell you, like, probably a lot of things that I would have done in my life, people that I would have like never even gone home with, I ended up going home with, and I'm just thinking, was that because of alcohol? But then you also got to think like alcohol is kind of a truth serum, so I guess if that's what brings out my devil in me, I gotta stay away from alcohol because in my own head I go, oh, well, I've done all these things when I was drunk, and I'm thinking, ugh, that means I probably would have wanted to do them when I was sober, which, ugh, I really need to look at myself. So whatever, life lesson, like that's what this whole journey is about, is learning like the life lessons of life. Everything's planned out for you. Whether you think, oh, I'm going to be rich, this, maybe that's not your life path. Maybe you're supposed to work at McDonald's, be the best manager there is, have an entire community that loves you, and people remember you for being the friendly face that always smiles when you take an order. Who knows? Maybe that's your life path. Nobody actually knows their life path well. People can tell you your life path, and then you just really gotta hope that you're not listening to just somebody and hoping that it works out. But I'm gonna tell you, like, it's just been very interesting because you know it's been a rough 3 years. I can't even lie. Still waiting on money from my friends. I'm still waiting on money from my the bank job that screwed me. My own money. Like, I can't even get my own money in this world. So, I don't know. Yeah, all right. That just led to three more tangents. This is unreal. Well, I'll finish off the other one. So with my one friend, she came back out of the blue and started asking me about my life, and I said, like spiritual awakening sucks. Twin flame sucks. I said, like the worst part is I've learned to control my mind. I've learned to control the energy. I've learned to figure out who I am as a person. I've gone through my dark shadow, my dark soul. I really need to learn how to figure that one out. It's dark soul of the night. Might as well just be your dark shadow because I'm going to tell you it's dark. It's, if your soul is got a shadow, the shadow is the dark part. I don't know, but it's been hell. And the only thing I knew how to do for the last 3.5 years is literally no addictions, work out, eat healthy, try to work, and try to build a business. And that is honestly the game of life. Once you figure that out, if you're 18 years old and say your passion has been drumming your entire life, and you're going to go, oh, I'm going to be in a band or I'm going to be in a band. Well, then here's what you need to do. At the age of 18, you need to start a band. You need to start making songs. You got to start learning marketing. You got to start building every part of that business. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you right now, August 25th, I am almost, I believe it was October. That's where this is all going to come back around. I believe it was around October that I started really looking hard at my own business. And I had money at that time. And I was either going to move to Australia. I had enough money to move to Australia and start my life down there. And then I fell in love with the twin flame. Interesting timing because I can tell you, my buddy from India, who was supposed to keep me away from her, and he goes, "Oh, no, no, you should go to Australia. Like, you should really go to Australia." But I probably had a lottery bottle, or I didn't have any friends. So he was probably a one friend that was like, well, hey, like I got somebody I can hang out with. I got a girl I love, and I got a roof over my head. I can work. I can make money. Like, this is the devil I know. Whatever. Maybe I'll just stay here. Stupid. 'Cause I'm gonna tell you, should have left when my initial thought said, hey, you have money. Let's move to Australia. Okay. So I don't know how long this cycle now lasts because we're at 3.5 years. And like I said, if I did not know the ending, I don't think I would have been alive right now. I have had some of the darkest thoughts in the last 3.5 years. I wouldn't even second have thought it in some of those times. Like, that's how crazy it is that I literally had to say, okay, you're just in a really bad cycle of life. Life is just going to beat you down, but let's see what you're going to do about it. 'Cause that's all a spiritual awakening is. Ooh, sorry about that. You're going to see me yawn. I'm tired. It's been a long week, in all honesty. But yeah, so I started all these videos last August or last October, and I wanted to start this company to show people like how to get through their mental health problems, how to get through like their health problems, how to change their vibrations. And it's taken me a long time. Every time I've looked at how much this company is, like maybe when the first person who actually pays for the course goes, wow, like you might think there's not a lot there, but I took the website first. So I started up the YouTube channel, said like, hey, this is who I am. Like I just need a place to get my thoughts out, and start changing who I am so that I can look back and go, okay, this is where I was. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep being better. Let's keep being better. And it may be working. It might not be working. Okay. Like I'm really hoping that my logic is plant the seeds, water them, make them grow. Then it's just like I'm sure I've said this in lots of videos. It's like a bamboo. 5 years it could be this big. 5 years in one day, it's a full on stalk. So you never know how fast life will change. And this gets really interesting because if I'm absolutely correct that life follows the same patterns, the same type of energy, the same type of situations until you figure it out, or else you're just trapped in the maze of life that just goes around in circles, repeat, sleep, repeat, die. You're just waiting for death, right? And and that goes to another tangent. So, quick tangent on this one. So, I'm at the gym, and this one guy, I talked to him quite a bit. Thinks I'm crazy because I've talked to a psychic and a medium, and he goes, "Oh, well, maybe you should do this, blah blah blah." I'm going, can't change anything in my life. I have tried. Can't even claim bankruptcy. I just look at my credit card, make the minimum payments, go whatever. I can't even tell you how much stress I would have normally had. But now that I've talked to a bankruptcy lawyer, and he goes, take it as high as you can. He goes, it's a rough economy. And that's the really rough part because I live by the system. Okay. When I first came out of high school, got myself a credit card and I did it the smart way. Had a $500 a month limit. Okay. For the whole month, whatever it took, if I had to rack it up to 500, done. But it was paid off no matter what. So I only ever spent what was in my savings account on my credit card and then paid off the credit card. And the reason I did that, and most people go, well, that's pretty impressive. Okay. I had parents who worked in the money industry, both as financial advisors. So if I didn't learn something along the lines while living with them in their professional careers, then I am obviously not paying attention to who's around me, what they're up to, or how life even works. So I knew about that. So when I came out of high school, like I said, I got myself a credit card, $500 limit, racket. So like even if I needed $500 worth of stuff in the first 2 weeks and I had 500 in my bank account, I'd rack it in 2 weeks, pay it off right there. 2 weeks in one day, done. My credit rating went so fast that by the time I was out of university, at that time, I could have gotten. I'm just going to go for comparisons of what properties and things like that were. So around 2007, right before the crash, right? So that would have been the highest in my city. Okay. So I'm thinking in Calgary at that time, you could have probably got a nice house for house house 300,000. And that same house is probably 6 or 7 thousand, 6 or 700,000 now. So I probably could have been very close to that my own right out of university. And so I built up my credit and everything. So I've done this the entire way of living through the system, going work hard, pay off your bills, build up your credit, stuff like that. So I had the degree. The system says get the degree, get the job, get the woman, get the house, get the marriage. That's a perfect life. But in their time frame, it's crazy. Because I'm going to tell you right now, schooling, university, college, waste. unless you go back for a finance degree and you've already completed one degree, and then they still try to make you take like marketing classes. They're like, oh, well, this marketing class has changed. And I'm going, I don't care if the marketing class has changed. You know what? I took the opposite, I took the equivalent marketing class 10 years ago in my first degree. You're going to like waive this. I'm not paying for another class. Like, I understand universities. It's this. If you go look at how much the profs make, I'm going to throw one of the profs under the bus right now. His name's Lindsay Murray. Works at the University of Lethbridge. Called me a fucking dick going nowhere in life. He's right. Look at me. I am living in my grandma's basement with 2 degrees, going nowhere in life, and I'm a fucking dick. You are absolutely correct, Lindsay Murray. I am a fucking dick going nowhere in life. I'm hoping that you are so proud that your words actually came true. I hope so. Because you know what? Here's the words from me. Those words were good. I never ever went to your bosses and told them what you said. You would have been fired. 10 year, 10-year prof that makes $250,000 a year. If anyone in the world would have said, hey, Dustin Taylor, you're a fucking dick going nowhere in life. How many companies would have said, yo, you can't say that to anyone? Now, the fact that it's a university and we were upheld to standards, okay? So if that's the case, I'm just saying, these videos will eventually get out there. Your name will be out there. And I hope you're proud of yourself because you are now going to be known as a professor who actually told one of his students that he was a fucking dick going nowhere in life. Guess what? I'm a fucking dick going nowhere in life. 2 degrees, traveled the world, made lots of money. But hey, I'm on down times, so I'm okay with this. But it's like this whole cycle is just crazy. So, like I said, I was telling my buddy, and if you look at the timelines, it's right around now that I would have said, hey, I got enough money. I should just take my last semester, which starts September 6th, their next semester, September 6th. Look at the timeline. 3 years ago was a different astrological sign. I was completing my last semester at university. I had money. I had $15,000, 15 or 18. Let's just say 15. I had $15,000 in the bank. I had a six-figure credit card that had no limit, no balance, and I had a credit line at $15,000. So I had enough money that if I wanted to go to Australia, I'm probably sitting at $130,000 worth of credit, $15,000 worth of equity. Like, I could have probably started my life in Australia, and I didn't. Stayed, and now I want to look at this cycle. Close to bankruptcy, they won't even give me bankruptcy. I have to take it as high as I can because it's my first one. He goes 50,000, 75,000, 100,000, far as you can go. So if that's the case, what's my timeline here? Because I've been trying to get out of Lethbridge for years, and I can't. I'm stuck. And everyone goes, "Oh, I hope you're not just staying for some girl, this or that." I'm going, "No. Everything I'm trying to do is try to get my ass out of here." And now this goes back to the other tangent. All my tangents will eventually come back around. I just apparently like to tell stories, get something out of my head from something else, and go back to that tangent. It always does happen that way. And if you're like not new to this video, there's probably been at least 25 blunders. You should be probably drunk by now. Okay, in all honesty. So I'm thinking like, okay, what's my next cycle? Because if this is a Mercury retrograde, it means that all the energy from the last 3.5 years is going to come back. Okay, So I didn't go out last night, and I wanted to, but then I'm thinking, I haven't been out in about 5 months. That could be a lie. I might have gone out once or twice sometime in that last 5 months, but it's not much. Not enough to like go. Did I have an amazing night? Probably not, because I can tell you, my last year has just been nothing but disappointment. So I'm pretty sure there was no amazing nights. So okay, let's look at the timeline because be her best friend, be her best friend, be her best friend. That now means that I get to I best friend my twin flame, but I also best friend everyone in the city. The medium who told me last year, she goes, "Oh, you're gonna go move to Australia with your best friend." All right, so a medium 10 years ago, be your best friend. That's your wife. Or sorry, psychic 10 years ago, be your best friend. That's your wife. Medium last year, your best friend will be your wife. Australia. Both of those are my endings from the same ending, the same person, like who my wife is, two different people, 10 years apart. How does that work? It means everyone's life is already planned out. Okay, so this is the only reason my crazy ass is still alive and not giving up hope. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you, my twin flame, and I've dragged her through the mud on these videos, dragged her through the mud, and it's probably not right, and it should not be right whatsoever. I know that the reason I'm dragging her through the mud is because she's hurt me so bad, so emotionally, that just who she is as a person. When I say I thought I was a shitbag of a person, I'm an absolute angel compared to who she is. And that sounds so horrible, but I honestly do believe she is sent from the devil. I do not know why I would have fallen for a bad girl who has every sin and addiction possible, who hangs out with the lowest of lowlifes. But then when I think about all of my life, I didn't grow up with rich friends. I met a few here and there, but even then, I never really hung out at their houses. All of my friends were either questionable characters growing up in society, causing a lot of riffraff, and I was the good guy. I never caused any shit with them. I just watched them. If we had to run, we have to run because they did a lot of shitty things. So I get my heart pumping and get a lot of situations because of them. But I never ever got myself into trouble. That wasn't who I was. And I can tell you, so that's how I grew up. Was the people who accepted me were of that character and caliber. My twin flame is of that character caliber. And I don't know what the paradigm is the truest form of love. What do you mean? Like, my heart fell for something that I would have never fallen for. So, you know what? I said, all right, God, like, I want to be in love. Love is hard to, it's one, how many people can go, oh, you can just go find someone else? No, you can't. You can go find someone else to go bump and grind, but you're not going to link up your heart with them and go, oh, I love you. And if you do, are you saying that you love them out of to say you love them, or you actually love them because I actually love this girl, would have done everything for her, but she played games. And then here's the deal, I get it because in my stage, I'm looking for a wife. Her stage, she's a playgirl. So what is she going to do? She's going to try to tie me in as much as she can so that she can go get used and abused by everyone else. And then when she's at her lowest point of life, where she already probably should have been at her lowest point of life, from every story that I hear about her, if she's not at her lowest point of life, you can't get lower. For her, it's literally probably STDs, being a streetwalker with a coke addiction, and close to death. So unless she changed, and I haven't seen her in 2 years, which means the reason I haven't seen her in 2 years is she knows she broke my heart. She knows that she was in love with me, and she's going, "Oh, I can't step up to his level. I thought I was a badass. Oh, you're only a badass in the streets because you put out. It doesn't make you anything. It just means that the people you hang out with who can't control their own like man parts doesn't make you special. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I can control my man parts, and yet everyone wants to sleep with me, and I don't want to sleep with anyone. And I could. I really could. And that goes back to my other tangent. So my friend, she goes, who I haven't talked to her since 3 years or whatever. She goes, "Oh," she goes, "Wow, so you're transcending and ascending." I go, "Yeah." She goes, "That's pretty tough." She goes, "The fact that you're changing who you are and then changing your absolute like energy and spiritual alignment." She goes, "Most people don't do that. They'll go halfway and they quit." And I'm going to tell you, every day I'm thinking, I would love to just quit, go back to my old ways, just get on with life, even though it's the devil that I know. I'd be out of debt real quick, probably be down in Australia real quick. It would, my life would go from like hell to just a little bit ray of sunshine. And I gotta be honest with myself, the only reason that I'm going through this, beautiful blonde soulmate, live in Australia, a legacy like no tomorrow. And if I do this right, like I'm saying, if I honestly do this right, and I thought about this lots, and I'm thinking like, what did I always want to do when I was like growing up? You know, like the ultimate goal would have been own a nice all inclusive resort where I could hang out on the beach, make money, have a place to sleep, drink, food, right? So I'm just thinking, okay, that is a pretty good lifestyle, and I think that would be something to strive for. But I'm going to do it smart this time, and I really am. I'm going to have this company. So I started these videos in October, I believe. I keep thinking it's October. If it's not, it's probably March. But like I said, I'm really going to be bad on my timelines on this video, so I'm sorry. So let's say it's October. So we're almost coming up to a whole year where I've been working on this business step by step. Marketing, social marketing, accounting, paying for law documents. I signed up for, okay, so this is how this goes. I was for the last week trying to figure out what to do with my business, how to like make money, how to get this going, stuff like that. And I've been still looking for a bank account. And I finally just said, you know what? I'm going to do my own personal bank account. I'm going to go through GoDaddy payments so that they accept the payments. They got PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, yada, yada. Once I make my business, then I can transfer it to me and I'll just do the accounting. I've done my own accounting books. I'm just going to pay for the Sage, which is a nice program. Once I get closer to actually making money, and I'll plop it in, and we'll do it that way. I'm going to be this small corporation, but I'm going to start everything out at the very bottom. I'm going to show people how to do this step by step, and it hasn't been easy whatsoever. So then I was talking to Sokin out in the UK, looking for like a corporate bank account. And the thing is, they go, "Well, what kind of accounts do you need?" I said, I like Canadian and US and an Australian. And then if there was anything else that comes in through other countries, I'll just transfer the money and pay the transfer fee. So he sends me out all the forms, and I'm going through them, and there's one page that has like, I don't know, 6 or 7 different questions asking about, oh, what kind of numbers this, and this. And I emailed the guy, I go, "Uh, how do I put in these numbers? I don't know what these numbers are. What numbers do you guys have on your end? and let me see them. And he goes, oh, no, no, no. You just put in whatever you think and then like sign it and send it to us. And then we can like update it if it needs to be different. And I go, no, I'm not going to just put in numbers I don't know of anything and then sign it and then send it to you. I said, you obviously have the numbers. What are the numbers? So he tells me the numbers, and then I go through the fine print, and I'm going, whoa, this is a straight up screw job. And I'm so glad that I went further and I just didn't sign everything and then send it in because I would have been tied to this contract, which would just bankrupt me. Or it would put the fire under my ass saying, you have to work as hard as you can so that you can get out of this contract. And so here's the deal. So he had one of the numbers was 50,000. I have to put $50,000 through their accounts in a year, or else I pay a penalty fee. Penalty fee is 0.5%. Okay. So 50,000, say I made 30,000 the first year. That leaves a $20,000 difference. 20,000 times 0.5 is $10,000. I would have to pay them a $10,000 fee to have that account. And I'm just thinking, I'm a brand new corporation who's very nichey, and the only people that are going to come to my corporation or my company are the ones who actually want to better themselves. I can't guarantee $50,000 in the first year. Can't guarantee $50,000 in the second year. Third, fourth, and fifth year, I'm talking, we're not saying 50 anymore. I probably would have jumped up six figures. If we really want to be honest. I have a good idea of how this is working. I'm seeing my analytics on all my social medias. And that's the other thing is I post videos to TikTok every day just showing my workouts. And TikTok does it. It's about every week. If you do a complete week, that's why like people like David Goggins. He produces like something like 9 or 11 videos a day, motivating people to work out, run, stuff like that. He's got I don't even know 144 or 222,000 followers, something like that. It's a big number. He's making good money off of advertisements, whatever he's doing. He's making good money. So they throw up the algorithms like every 5 to 7 days. I'll get zero views for like say 6 videos. Okay, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. On the seventh video, 500 views. I'm just thinking, what? That's kind of weird. 0, 0, 0, 300 views. So that's okay because I'm just gonna keep doing this. My LinkedIn, I get about 9 views a week. My Facebook, I get between the two of them, I think around 100 views a day. And on my YouTube, I think this was the thing is, I thought YouTube maybe was the way to like start building my brand, getting my name out there, getting my face out there, showing people like, hey, I am a person who goes through all these problems. I like to sit them down, talk them out, figure them out, do life the sober way, do it the healthy way, and move on. And I thought like, hey, maybe these videos will pick up. I don't even know how many videos I got, 90, 92, 93, somewhere around that number. And I'm thinking, okay, I watched one of these other guys who does a lot of motivational videos. And he goes, my first year, he goes, I quit my job. I had a family. I had bills. Everyone thought I was crazy. He goes, I'm just going to start a YouTube channel. And I'm going to make it big. And I'm thinking, okay, so I watched his whole process, his whole like how he did it. He did over 1,000 videos in a year. And I'm thinking, you honestly have 1,000 things that have happened to you or 1,000 videos worth of content? Like, I can tell you right now, it's just some of those people, like even me. I just sit here, rant and tell about my life and how I'm building up this business or how I'm getting my ass handed to me by life. So all my videos are going to be very close to the same. But like 1,000? That's a big number. So, anyways, he did 1,000 of them, which means I'm at 1/10 of where he's at. and I did it within 1 year. Okay, so maybe I'm not working as hard as these other content creators, and maybe that's what it is. But I'm also not going to play the fast, 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 and then life's done type thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but I would just rather make it so that every day I can go work out. After I've done this video, I'm going to go to the gym for 3 hours and work out. It's going to be a fun 3 hours. Hell, the very first hour, the first minute, I'm huffing and puffing. After 6 minutes, I'm like, okay, getting into this. After 15 minutes, you're starting to have a full on sweat, and you're like, well, we're already here for 15 minutes. Let's keep going. Now you got to take your mind and do it for 3 hours. Nobody does this. Nobody. Nobody in the gym does this. And they go, well, why are you doing this? And I go, I want the six pack. They go, well, you look good now. I go, I don't think so. I take off this poncho, Mexican poncho. I think it's a poncho, whatever it is, poncho. If I took off the poncho, I'm the leanest I've ever been, ever. But you know what? I was a big, 400-pound guy, which means I still have the inner leg fat, the inner or the upper fupa fat, and then the lower belly fat, and then like the odd fat that just does not go away. So, but that's the thing is, that's fine. That's the learning lesson. Like I keep telling people, if I do this the right way and I show people the right way, you don't get a six pack overnight. This would have been 3 years, every day, clean diet, no alcohol, no fast food. I think I slipped up on candy 3 times, and that's because I went out camping and my mom had a camper full of candy, and I'm a fat kid at heart. So, I probably went to town at least for 3 days. But even still, if that was those 3 days that covered the last 3 years, I haven't had candy since. It's not an easy journey doing the healthy journey, but it is a healthy journey. You get to live. Honestly, I'm so in my own world now. I have no idea what's going on in the other world, other parts of the world. I don't even care about the war that's going on. I don't care about the elections. The fact that I understand inflation, I'm not happy about it because I'm thinking the stuff I'm eating comes from the ground and all I have to do is go get some seeds, some land, and then I'm good. I wouldn't be spending this much money. But I don't have money to get the land to start with or to even pay for the seeds. So I'm putting everything on a credit card going, fine, let's just play the game. And that's the game. This is the game of life. You build your own credit up, and you build your business credit up. If your business takes off, you hit the stars, you make more money, blah, 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 blah. If you've racked out your personal credit to its top limits and you have to claim bankruptcy, and you claim bankruptcy on yourself, but you still have a company, which now gives you another 7 years to try to live life and whatnot. And if your company doesn't make it big in the next 7 years, then you claim bankruptcy. But look at this. First bankruptcy, you should be worried. No, because now everything's through your company. You make the decisions, but your company's the one making the decisions. You're an employee of your company. So then it's like that gives you 7 years to rebuild yourself up. That's the game of life. You're either building your personal self up or your company self up. And if you ever claim bankruptcy on one, then you got the other to like rely on. If you claim bankruptcy on both, then you've done something really wrong and timing is just not going to be good for you for 7 years minimum. But that's the game of life. And I really want this company to just take off so that it's I don't even care for the views on YouTube, which really sucks because I think I got some pretty good like videos that will explain like just life and thoughts and how to get through things. Like, and it's interesting because yesterday I was thinking to myself, I go, you know, I haven't had a trigger moment in a while. Like I haven't had to open up one of the doors that I've closed in my head. Sure enough, something I saw just went, well, let's trigger you real quick and see how good you are. So I let it happen, let it go, let it go, let it go, see how far I can go. And then I said, okay, I still have some growing up to do. I still have some soul of dark soul of the night that I need to address and work on, which means it stems from my past. Okay, I get it. And maybe I'm not fully ready in my head for a few certain things. Okay. But then also another trigger came up and I wanted to see because I've been really so the law thing. Oh, that's how I got back to this tangent. Okay. So when I was talking to the guy from the UK, he goes, "Oh, well, I need you to do an articles of association for your corporation. Here's a website," and it was rocketlawyer.com, the UK. So I checked up Rocket Lawyer and I fill out all the forms, yada yada yada, and come down to the payment part. It wouldn't accept my postal code. So I emailed them and I said, "Hey, like I'm from Canada. This is what's going on. This is who the company I'm going through. How do we get this figured out?" And they said, "Oh, well, you could probably check out Rocket Lawyer US. We can't help you unless you have a UK postal code." So then I was going, okay, well, how do I get a UK postal code? How do I do this for this company so that I can like be a legit corporation? And so I was looking at like virtual offices in the UK. So you can buy a virtual office where they'll send you your mail, forward emails, stuff like that, and you pay for it. So some of them cost like $700 pounds, £700 a year. That's expensive just for a virtual office. But then going through it and I'm thinking, okay, like maybe I'll get myself a virtual office. Then at least I look somewhat professional that I'm based out of a nice area. Even though it's a virtual office, you're not going to know it's not a virtual office. You're just going to see an address and an office place and go, hey, but it would have been virtual. And then I was like, this is crazy how much money I'm like, there's no way opening a consulting business that's based on a computer on a program that you created because you went through your dark soul of the night and pretty much recreated everything that you went through and put it onto a piece of paper and then said, all right, let's learn how to reverse engineer everything. And I'm not a professional in any health industries. I'm not. But the thing is I'm not stupid enough to like not be able to figure things out. Google's got a great resource of millions, billions of pages, right? So when I was going through everything, I said, you know what? And I see the fine print. I said, I messaged the guy the next day. I said, you know what? I'm not going to do this with you guys. Maybe if I get bigger and I become a big dog in this game, then I'll come back to you. But for right now, I'm just going to use my own business account. I do my own taxes as it is. So I know what money's coming from my personal account and what's not coming from my personal account. The only thing I don't know how to do is like, because I got my company set up that I take it as dividends. So I just got to figure out if I just set in a dividend form saying like January 1st, 2025, Dustin Taylor takes out $10,000 in dividends. I, that's the only thing I don't know. And that's really weird because I have a finance degree. I really don't know if I learned it or if I wasn't paying attention or something because I really have no idea how. That's the only thing I don't know. So whatever. But then it's like, okay, so where am I at with my company? This whole timeline is going to just work out very interesting because everything restarts up again. So when I have money those 3 years ago, I was going to go to Australia, start up my own company. I was just going to build a bar on the beach, to be honest with you. And then stayed for love. So this time around, I already know that twin flame has to come back. She has to come back. The timelines all work out. Okay. So she has to come back. And now here's where it goes back to my other set in life. Me and my ex, when we broke up and I went and traveled the world, and I came back, we talked, and she wrote me a page, 3 pages worth of like everything. And I was thinking to myself yesterday, I go, huh, during that conversation, she got closure from me. And then within like that day, I went and told my mom, and I said, like, if we ever get back together, at least I now know how to like talk to her so that I can get the information going back and forth. And I never got the closure. I always thought it was still going to be open again. And then she eventually gets pregnant when I'm traveling, and I see the picture of her with her baby photo, like the baby in the stomach photo, broke me down. Done. Like I just started crying and going. And I was out, and everyone's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Man, the love of my life, it's done. Like that road's done. That path ended." She was smart, so it ended. So maybe I don't know how long she got over me really quick. Which, damn, like 6 months to have a kid? That's crazy. You hang out with a guy for 8 years, and then 6 months you have a kid with another dude. Holy. So okay, whatever. Like maybe she didn't do her actual like work on herself type thing. 'Cause I'm going to tell you, if she did, she wouldn't have jumped into a timeline that quick. But then here's the other part. After me and her broke up, when I went to Australia, I went to Thailand for a month. My second month was in Australia. So the second month in Australia, I would have met my soulmate, and I fucked up. And that would have been really quick. It would have been my timelines literally would have been the same as hers. That we would have both ended our relationship and found our soulmates and actually had that path where we've had a family. We're just two different timelines. So I figured it out. I was like, okay, like I didn't get closure, but you know what? She closed the door. I gotta move on. It is what it is. Hard lesson to learn. Heartache is a hard lesson to learn. So I had a soul contract at that time that said, all right, I'm going to change my diet. I'm going to work out. I'm going to get the six pack. I'm going to start a business. And I'm going to move to a beach. That was the goal. Ended up hanging out with the devil and just partying and getting fat and drinking and whatever. It's hard to get away from what you already know. So I probably should have had my spiritual awakening at that time. But I was like, no, I'm not ready for this. And then here we go, spiritual awakening. I keep telling people, if you drink spirits, that's the dark spirits, right? Dark side, you don't drink, you're on the light side. See how that works? Now I chase the spirits of life. And I'm going to tell you right now, the energy I get from spirits and people, and I don't get energy from objects. I don't know how to tune myself into that, which is probably for the better, because if I was like, man, this chair's giving off a lot of energy, I'd be like, be kind of weird. But I don't know how to do that. So I'm not that good. I watch videos on it. I know how to attract energy to my heart because, well, I guess I am a spiritual healer with empathic ability. So good on me for that. But I now get to see the door come back where I had the same type of closure. You know what? Get out of heartbreak. What are you going to do? We're going to talk. She's going to go, oh, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go, I don't care. And that sounds really bad, but I don't. I'm going to say to you, as a twin flame, I'm going to go, Okay, so you knew you loved me. You didn't know whether it was love or lust. You went and dated the entire world. You did a lot of bad, shitty things. Doesn't make you who you are as a person. But the way you treated me as a person, your narcissistic, your manipulation, your toxic ways, if I were to have been that person to you and we're having this exact same conversation, would you take me back? And if she actually says yes, there's two things there. One, you either have the lowest self worth that if I were to take you back after 1,000 things, 1,000, like it got to a point that I honestly started counting. And I was thinking, for a girl who loves me, you're willing to do all of this stuff just to be so toxic and try to bring me down. Because in her world, love must be, hey, the more you use and abuse me, that means you must really care and love me. What a sad world she lives in. Now I have to say, hey, you know what? I love you with all my heart because we're twin flames. But do I love you as a person for who you are and what you did to me? Absolutely not. In fact, you're such a narcissist that I actually went and created a YouTube channel because I had so much pain and thoughts in my head about you, and my heart hurt, and trying to be a better person. And I'm going, if this is my truest form of love, why would you hurt me as bad as you hurt me? So now I get to have this nice, wonderful conversation. Everyone goes, oh, it'll be easy, or you don't even have to have that conversation. Yes, you do. I didn't have to have that conversation with my ex. Once it happened, both the doors happened. Her life took off, my life took off. So I'm going to tell you, the timing didn't work. Me and the twin flame. Okay, I'll take the heartbreak. I'll cut the cord. I'll lose the energy. Blah, 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 blah. I was a true ride or die. I was faithful to the man upstairs and I said, hey, I'm ready. You know what? I want true love. I want to get out of Lethbridge. I don't want this life anymore. All right. So now here's how this goes. September 8th is a Saturday. And I don't know why that day is always, for the last few months, has just been ringing. So school comes back. You're going to go, school? Yes, she's in university. That's the weirdest part. Think about it. I was in university 3 years ago. You see how we met up? Like, I'm not saying, like, oh, I don't chase university students. 39 years old. I don't. I don't chase anyone, actually. My life is wake up, work out, eat healthy, build this business. If I have to work, go work so I can pay off my bills. Nothing. I don't chase anyone. I don't go out. But I did at that time because that's part of the university life is going out, meeting people. And the only reason I actually went out was because it was my last semester. And I said, holy, I've been studying for 3 years on a finance degree, pulling 80% averages. You don't, in a finance degree, you don't get 80% if you're not just literally at home studying. So I did it and I said, the last semester, I'm just going to go out, meet people, and at least see if I can get some connections going. That's how it worked out. Okay, that's the weirdest ass timing ever, which means that everything was planned out. Because if that last month I would have just said, "Hey, I just should just stay at home and just finish my last semester or move to Australia," none of these videos would have happened. Which means my whole next next path wouldn't have happened. Okay, so you know what? It's a learning lesson because I'm going to tell you, my soulmate is in her mid 20s. And now she has to figure out. I know she's getting to the point of, I don't like who I hang out with. Get in a lot of trouble with them. Get in a lot of trouble with my family. I have this nice guy who has never made a move on me, who's always just been a friend to me. And now do you see how it works? Be her best friend. Hmm. I want the wife so bad that I best friend everyone in the city. I best friend the twin flame. The twin flame is a playgirl. So if I don't give her sex, she's not going to give me what I want. See how the dynamic works? I now know I have to keep my standards and morals up to get to the next life. I'm, and it sounds so bad because you're going to go, hold up. So you're just not going, no, I want this. Okay? Next person I sleep with, I want it to be the end all, the future wife, have kids with, done. I don't want any more. I'm not looking for grass is greener on the other side. So as soon as this happens, watch the timelines. I just don't know which way it's going to go first. I would like, it doesn't even matter anymore. Bring on the twin flame first. She comes out on September 8th. It would be very interesting as if the twin flame comes out and the soulmate comes out. That would be the that would be the that would be the epicenter of epicenters, like, because then everything has to happen that day. So I think she'll come out because university starts back up on the 6th. The 8th is a Saturday. She'll be out. Okay. I live in a small town. There's only like 3 spots in this place that are banging on a Saturday. Chances are I could be at one of those 3. So could she. Done. She now has to come and apologize to me. She doesn't talk to me. Fine. That will be the last part. That will be me going, you don't step up, say you're sorry, and let's have this conversation. Then I just walk anyways. It doesn't even matter. Whether she knows it or not, it's not going to be a good conversation for her. I have to be upfront with her. Love you with all my heart. You're not good for my mental. I'm actually anointed from God. Like I told you, I was the 1%. I told her. I told her from the very beginning. I said, I'm the 1%. Whether you believe me or not, I am the 1%. I said, there's something going on right now, but I can guarantee I'm the 1%. She didn't believe me. I said, you are probably the 1%. If your heart linked up with mine, you're probably the 1% too. Yeah, she's the bottom 1%. I'm the top 1%. Now, here's the other ironic thing. I think she comes from a rich family. So she probably has the top 1%, and I'm a poor, educated hood rat. Hmm. And I'm the bottom 1%, but with the 1% mentality. Crazy dynamic there. Interesting, eh? So now I get to say, hey, you know what? I hope you can find God, get rid of your sins and addictions, and learn to treat your body like a vessel because this is a good journey. Once you start to learn to love life and just the colors and the birds and just enjoying life, and you know that life is already planned out, whatever. It's already planned out. Who you meet is going to happen. It sucks because you have to go through the thoughts and the emotions. But at the end of it, my soulmate, she's beautiful. If it is her, she's absolutely beautiful. And I can tell you right now, she's going through the ringer. Guaranteed. If if what I watch from these tarot and they're close on my life, they have to be close on my soulmate and my twin flame. Like when they say like there's probably legal problems going on with one of the two of them, probably because I kind of know what's going on. I do have ears. I do know everyone in the city that if I really want something, I just know who to talk to because you know who hangs out with who. People do this. I do this. Hmm. Well, thank you. I appreciate the news and the information. So, anyways, it's been a whole year since I started this business, and it hasn't even taken off yet. My debt, I started off the year, I think at 14,000. I'm at $24,000 worth of debt as of today, and I'm just thinking it's crazy because like in the car industry, I was making $10,000 a month. And even the one guy at the gym, he goes, "Why don't you go back to selling cars?" And I go, "I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I have a bad reputation in the city now. Nobody wants me anymore." I go, if I go to any job, I'm trying to get to the top and try and make the most money because I don't need to be the bottom guy anymore. I don't. 39, I'm tired of being the bottom. And, ooh, that goes to a bad joke. Whatever you say there, I don't care, but I'm not a bottom guy. Anyways, this is an hour and 10-minute video. It was only supposed to be 2 minutes. Okay, never 2 minutes, but, you know, should have been 30, not an hour and 10. I just know that this whole thing is coming back up. I've done it the right way. I had the soul contract after my first heartbreak, didn't do it. This heartbreak, I said, all right, I gotta complete that first soul contract. I'm doing it. Which means my next path, which will be quick because it's all, excuse me, I'm starting to get hiccups. It's all on the same type of timelines, energies, just different people, maybe a little different situations, but very close. Which means last time I was almost close to bankruptcy. We sold off our house, got money, paid that in. I had like $34,000 on top of that to just go travel for 2 years. So I just went and traveled. So now this means that I've done all my soul contracts. I either start taking off and start paying off this debt, or, and knock on wood, 3 different doctors, 3 different people in my family were told, hey, you have anywhere from 5 to 10 years. And if the one person who watches these videos, remember, your doctor said 10 years. That was probably 5 years ago, 4 to 5 years ago. So the psychic even said, no, you'll never see your son ever again. Just saying, I know you like your lifestyle, but here's the deal. This is a beautiful world. I will be giving you beautiful grandbabies from a beautiful girl, though. So, like, you might want to start changing your diet again and start getting rid of some of the habits that you have. And you know which ones I'm talking about. And the reason I'm saying this is because prove the doctor wrong, prove the psychic wrong, work hard on yourself because, like I said, you want to go live in Asia. I'm probably moving to Australia. We're neighbors, which means you're only a 2 hour plane flight away. It would be like from going Calgary to Edmonton, okay? So just think about it. These people are not saying things for any reason, which means whatever's going to happen, these timelines are picking up quick. Because all my family members are under 5 years if their doctors are correct. I hope not. But I also know that where I was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, let's go in that 4 year range. I was a lot rougher at 4. I know where I was at 4 years ago, and I had to do 180% change on who I was, or else I don't get the ending. I'm pretty sure it's because I would have been dead. So choose what you want. So I'm going to tell you, if death is the ending, I already know that I'm coming back to Earth. Well, then let's stay on this planet for as long as I can. Because if I'm coming back for another round, at least I want the hang of things, so that the next life, I don't get my ass handed to me for 40 years. This is another thing. I keep telling people, I'm like, I'm in a spiritual awakening, but I also think I'm doing things that the Bible is telling me to do. That I'm different people in the Bible. And it's not because I'm Christian or Mormon, whatever they are. Buddhism, or that's how much I know about the religions, okay? I'm not that bug on my hat. I'm not that, okay? So I'm just spiritual. But then certain stories like Adam and Eve, Eve took the temptation of everything, right? And he goes, no, like, this is who you're supposed to be with. Don't eat the apple. Like, you gotta trust me. So that was the whole twin flame thing. She took every temptation. I didn't take one. Okay? which means I now get her karma. That's the sad part. There is a karma game in this like life. Now, I don't know if it was like Joseph or Moses, one of the two, had to spend 40 years in a jungle or a desert or something before he started seeing success and like being brought up to be something better in life. Coming up to 40 years. If you look at my life, I got my ass handed to me. Done a lot of shitbag things, and those were my own decisions. I get it. But I now know that, like, if I do everything the right way now, it took me over 40 years to finally be, be blessed with a better future. And when I look at like all the companies and everything, I worked the hardest, tried to move up the ladder the fastest, got fired for lots of reasons, over 100 different firings. And it's probably because God's saying, hey, you're not ready to run a company. Even when I'm looking at my own company, so I had to go to the store because I was like, maybe I should get a new computer. Like, this is the old computer, things are slower. It's just not working the way I want. I need to update my Windows. So I finally just said, I don't have the money for a new computer, but I'll pay for the update Windows, like the PowerPoint, all that stuff. And so I updated that, and now my entire computer doesn't work except for like the Windows. I'm thinking, great, I can't even download videos, I can't even edit videos. So I like this video, it works, but I've had to go around it. Like it's like the updating and the editing thing that I normally use, it's not downloading the video, so it won't take the videos and download it. I'm just thinking, you worked for the last 100 videos, but now you're just going to say, nope, we don't download anymore. Now I got to plug into a USB. I got to upload to Google Drives. Then I got to download it from Google Drives, and then I got to save it on. Like it's a 4 or 5 step process now, when it used to be a one-step process. Whatever. Lesson learned. It takes me a little bit longer. Fine. Life isn't meant to be pushed out fast. So you know what? I've done everything, and the only thing that would work, and I was like trying to like stay away from the legal contracts because I know once I start making up the legal contracts, I got a consultant contract, an contract, and a website privacy policy contract, and I think one or two more. And that was the only thing that would work on my system for downloads that day. And I'm thinking, all right, if that's not a sign from God saying like, hey, what do you want? Do you really want to stay in your grandma's house? I'm gonna make sure that you either do the things that I want you to do, or you're stuck. So sure enough, I got my legal contracts done yesterday. Today's Sunday. It's 10:15. I'm gonna go hit the gym in like 2 minutes here. Go work out for 3 hours, bust it out. Hopefully this video uploads by the time I get back. Probably not. It's an hour and 20 minutes. Anyways, the cycle's coming. It's all coming back. And I just know, close the one door, be respectful, thankful, say, hey, thanks for coming into my life. Wish you the best in yours. My next path opens up very quick. And then I'm out of here. I'm really trying to get this out by January. If I can hammer out $24,000 of debt by January, it's 4 months, $6,000 a month. It's, after everything's paid for and everything else, almost accomplishable. Almost. So if not, it'll be very close to that time frame. I'm going to be trying to be out of here. If I have to do another spring and summer here, I guess so be it. I don't want to, but maybe that's how the timeline works. Maybe that's when the customers work. That's when the money works. Because nothing in my mind says like, how does that soulmate move to Australia with me? There's got to be a time frame where we actually link up. So she's making her decisions right now, which means if the psychic and the medium are right, she's getting out of toxic relationships. Because I told her, I said, I don't want to meet your friends. I know who your friends are. I don't need any outside noise. I want to take care of you, get to know you, and that's it. If not, I'll work on my health, work on my business, and try to get rid of my debt so I can move to Australia. I've been 100% upfront with her. So we'll see. She's probably deciding right now, going, uh-oh, I stick in this situation. This is what I have. But I've actually really loved this guy for 2 years. Didn't step up. And now, if I do step up, he's already been upfront with me saying, hey, he is moving to Australia no matter what. So now she has to decide. And honestly, if like I said, the psychic can, and life is already planned out, and she knows that if she's coming into my world and it works out, she has to move to Australia. There's no, but I also know she also knows this. So if you know that you're going to get the marriage and the wedding and the kids, would you move to Australia for someone? Probably would. So that's the reason I build this company, is so that if psychic and the medium is correct, even if they're not, I built up a company. I kept true to my word. God will bless me eventually. It's just when. So I just gotta have patience. It's been a rough 3.5 years. It's almost over. This cycle's almost over. This cycle for me was almost 11 years. 11 years of just shitty life lessons. Whatever. I took that path. Anyways, hour and 21 minutes. I don't know how many rants, how many tangents, but apparently I had lots on my mind. It is what it is. It's nice knowing that, like, when you see how, like, doors open and close for you, I now know why I was sent to this new gym. It's got a lot more business owners who don't work during the day, but somehow make big coin, and they give me little tidbits of like how to get ahead. So there's a way for me. I have to spend more money. That's fine, but I'm learning more about how to get up to the top. And that's the thing, is nobody's going to show you how to get to the top. I'm going to post these videos, success or fail. You're going to see how my life happened with a twin flame soulmate. You're going to see the beginning of a company to how it either takes off or it doesn't. And other than that, this will be one hell of a roller coaster ride, because I'm going to tell you, it's only going up. Only going up. That being said, take your losses before you become the boss. Try to be 1% better each and every day. Try to help others to grow, succeed, and be the best versions they can be. Everything happens on divine timing. My name is Dustin Taylor. This is divinityvirtue.com. Go check out my socials, my TikToks. They're just a quick minute video, but they got some pretty good music at the back. Just shows you like how much I actually work out every day. The YouTubes, pass them around. There's got to be some good insight in here. LinkedIn, it's just pretty much to market my business. And if you have any ideas on how to get this business going, please message me. Find me on Facebook, whatever. Um, yeah. So I think this is it. Anyways, I hope you have a great Sunday, fun day Sunday. God bless. Amen. Let's go.